Many Phillies fans have been asking themselves this season, why are the Phillies doing as bad as they are? I thought they were supposed to be good this season. Well, I also thought this, and after some research and talking with other baseball nuts, I believe I have the reasons why we may have thought the Phillies would be good and why they haven't been. Just before the season began, the Phillies acquired two absolutely huge names, Kyle Schwarber and Nick Castellanos. Schwarber was with the Chicago Cubs for 6 years, and then got traded to the Washington Nationals. And halfway through the 2021 season, he was again traded, this time to the Boston Red Sox. In total last season, Kyle had a 266 batting average, 374 on base percentage, and a 522 slugging, with 32 home runs and 71 runs batted in. These stats aren't great, but aren't terrible either. And Schwarber was mainly signed by the Phillies for 4 years for $79 million because of his big name and his proclivity for having a powerful bat. Schwarber was a 2021 MLB All Star. On the other hand, Nick Castellanos was with the Detroit Tigers for 6.5 years and the Cincinnati Reds for 2.5 years before signing with the Phils for $100 million for 5 years. In 2021, Castellanos had an amazing season, ending off with a 309 batting average, 362 on base percentage, 576 slugging, 34 homers, and 100 ribbies. Castellanos was also a 2021 MLB All Star. So, with two seemingly game changing bats joining an already fairly stacked roster with Bryce Harper, Reese Hoskins, and JT Realmuto, it appeared to everyone that the Phillies would be able to outslug literally anybody and everybody. With the addition of Castellanos and Schwarber, the Phillies claimed the fourth highest payroll in 2022 and the highest ever in franchise history. However, among these additions were some fatal flaws. In reality, Phillies president Dave Dombrowski played us all like a damn fiddle. With Andrew McCutchen being let go over the offseason and Mickey Moniak being injured in spring training, the Phillies were without a center fielder. So they reacquired Odubel Herrera, who, if you don't know, sucks and has a bit of a dubious history. The hole left by McCutchen's departure extended beyond the center fielder position, since the Phillies now did not have a reliable leadoff batter, and one could see that the Phils have gone through several leadoff hitters, and they still haven't found someone reliable. What's more, Dave Dombrowski, in his infinite lust for big sluggers, let go two extremely dependable batters and fielders, Ronald Torreyes and Brad Miller. Torreyes finished off 2021 with okay stats, posting a 242 batting average, 286 on base percentage, and 346 slugging, racking in 7 homers and 41 RBIs. Miller also had okay stats with a 227 batting average, 321 on base percentage, and 453 slugging, hitting 20 home runs and 49 RBIs. The thing about these guys was that A, they were on fire towards the end of the 2021 season. B, they were great fielders, which, if you don't know, the Phillies have a critical lack of. And C, they brought life to the clubhouse. If you've watched any games from last season and compared them to this season, the Phillies dugout looks absolutely depressed right now. Like, these guys have no energy at all if they aren't having a home run derby. And part of that is because of who was managing the Phillies, which brings me to my next point, Joe Girardi. Joe Girardi was manager for the New York Yankees from 2008 to 2017, leading the Yankees to a World Series win in 2009, ironically against the Philadelphia Phillies. In 2019, the Phillies canned relatively inexperienced Gabe Kapler and replaced him with the grizzled veteran Girardi. The Phillies hoped that Joe's experience would help the Phillies finally make it to the playoffs. But in both 2020 and 2021, the Phillies narrowly missed the playoffs. And in 2021, the Phillies had the most blown saves for any team in one season in MLB history at a staggering 34 blown saves. Players and fans alike prayed that 2022 would be different, but the Phillies continue to have blown save after blown save after blown save, culminating in a blown 7-1 lead on May 5th against the New York Mets, with the Mets cashing in 7 runs in the bottom of the ninth inning to win the game. Some of these losses were a result of some bad decision making by Girardi in terms of pitching and the bullpen. Finally, the Phillies had enough, and Joe was sacked on Friday, June 3rd, 2022, after the team started with a 22-29 record. So the question to be asked is, was Joe really the problem? Well, yes and no. The reality is that Joe Girardi came to Philly because he was sold a bad bill of goods. And then when he finally got some serious talent, Dombrowski and the brass schmucking about as usual and pulled his contract extension. So Joe knew he was going to be fired, whether it was going to be today, tomorrow, or months from now. And I don't know about you, when I know I could be fired at any minute and there's really nothing I can do about it because my success is dependent on my employees or players' success, I'm not really going to be that motivated. So, yes, Joe was detrimental to the clubhouse, but it wasn't really his fault. Granted, Joe made some pretty awful bullpen and lineup decisions. However, do a few bad apples spoil the bunch? It seems like Girardi was dealt a pretty crappy hand and he played the best he could. Or maybe not. After Joe was fired, bench coach Rob Thompson was appointed as interim coach, and in his first 3 games as coach, the Phillies swept the Angels out of Philly, capped off by a come-from-behind victory on Sunday with Bryce Harper hitting a game-tying grand salami in the bottom of the 8th and rookie Bryson Stott hitting a walk-off 3-run home run in the bottom of the ninth. FYI, Thompson was with Girardi all throughout his time with the Yankees, and the two worked very close together, so we'll see what that may spell for his coaching tactics. The players, for the most part, seemed apologetic that Joe got fired, with guys like Hoskins, Castellanos, and Harper all saying that their early season failure is as much on them as it is on Joe, and they need to step it up. Maybe that's why the bats lit up after Joe was sacked. Oh, and just a few more things before I go. Just a reminder that one, the Phillies had the worst schedule out of any team in the MLB for the first 3 months of the season. So take that as you will. Two, the team is just flat out unlucky, especially when it comes to injuries. During the last game of spring training, Mickey Moniak, who played center field and was having an amazing spring, got hit in the hand by a pitch which fractured his hand and forced him on the IL for almost 2 months. On May 7th, D. Gorius, who was a shortstop, who was having a good start to the season, sprained his left knee and was out until the comeback win on Sunday. Second baseman Gene Segura was hit by a pitch on the right index finger while laying down a bunt, fracturing it and putting him out of commission until September. Segura was on fire with a 275 batting average and a 731 OPS. Nick Maton, who was called up from the minors to fill the hole left by Segura's injury, strained his right shoulder on an amazing play in Friday's 10-0 victory over the Angels. Bryce Harper has been unable to play in right field ever since he tore his UCL in his right elbow on April 11th, but he has still been able to DH.
Looking for some heroics from Harper. Here's the 3-2. Swung on. Crushed. He's done it. How about that for heroics into the second deck as Bryce Harper has tied this game. On a 3-2 pitch here in the bottom of the 8th inning, it's 6-6 on Harper's 6th career grand slam.
In general, it seems that the Phillies are always riddled with injuries and can never catch a break. But they swept the Angels in a 3-game series, and they head to Milwaukee to face the Brewers for the start of a short 3-game road trip. We'll see how everybody does. We'll see how Rob Thompson fares, and we'll see if the Phils can keep on winning.